Well, we're going to move to this because Democratic Socialist Bernie Sanders and Zoran Mandami, who do want to give you, quote, free stuff, just not free peanuts at Five Guys, they're out campaigning in direct defiance against long-serving members of their Democrat Party.
But one of their intended candidates is under fire for her views on whether murderers should go to prison.
Bill Melugin is live at the White House with the very latest. Good morning, Bill.
Hey, Griff, good morning to you. It is not going to surprise anybody these days, but New York City Mayor Zoran Mandani is standing firmly by the side of a fellow Democratic Socialist running for Congress in New York. And this is a person who has said a lot of things that raise a whole lot of eyebrows and has basically taken about as far left positions as you can get. So we'll get into her. Her name is Darializa Avila Chevalier. She's running for Congress in New York's 13th district. She has said a number of things in now deleted posts between 2018 and 2022 on social media, including that she wants to abolish borders, abolish prisons, and police is abolishing all those things is, quote, possible, necessary, and the only moral way forward. She has also said that all deportation is wrong and, quote, yes, literally abolish the border. She's also made some anti-American comments saying, quote, this country is a effing disgrace. In another post, she also added, quote, I forgot to get napkins, so I just wiped my hand on the American flag behind me in yet another post. Now, New York City Mayor Zoran Mandani and Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders were both campaigning for Chevalier in New York on Thursday.
And that, my friends, is why we need to elect Darializa Avila Chevalier. Dari is exactly who the people of the Bronx and Upper Manhattan deserve representing them in Congress.
The next 4 days, everybody here and everybody in the city has got to work hard to make sure that Brad and Claire and Darializa become the next congresspeople for New York City.
Now listen to this. Chevalier sat down with the New York editorial board where she repeatedly dodged questions on how she thinks murderers should be handled as a self-proclaimed prison abolitionist. The questioner said, quote, I went to a sentencing last week. A man killed another man, didn't know the person, just sitting on a stoop, got an 18-year prison sentence. Should that person not go to prison, and what should happen instead? She replies, quote, so, you know, for prison abolitionists, I think a lot of folks misunderstand what that vision of the world actually is, and it is one that actually centers this question of harm. At the heart of what we're asking is, why is that there? Why is there that there's so much harm in our society? She ended up dodging that question multiple times. And back out here live, she's also running on completely abolishing ICE. She's previously called Joe Biden a rapist. She's previously said, quote, F Kamala Harris. Back during the COVID-19 pandemic, she urged the government to provide about $3,000 a month to everybody in basic universal income. She said pharmaceutical companies and private medical insurance should be dissolved. She also suggested that Medicare should be expanded to every single citizen and private property be seized from landlords. So that right there is what gets you an endorsement from Bernie Sanders and Zoran Mamdani these days, guys. We'll send it back to you.
Incredible.
Unbelievable. All right, Bill Melugin, thank you.
Thanks, you, Bill.
You know, it's really amazing when you look at where all of these things are, these policies are taking, or politicians rather, are taking hold. They're all in Democrat strongholds. Everywhere you look at where this stuff, this rot is being sold is in places where Democrats have had a stranglehold on politics for a long time. This is not a rejection of America or American values or Republicans. This is a rejection of the Democrat Party. That's the only places this nonsense flourishes are in places where Democrats have controlled for many, many years. And if you go around and you talk to, and they'd love to talk about the working class, you talk to anybody who is a normal worker in this country, they are not talking about open borders. They are not talking about abolishing prisons. They are not talking about giving the government this power to take everything away from people. I think that this stuff, it flourishes in places like New York City, and then it dies there.
You know, asking a candidate if a murderer should go to prison is not a trick question. It's unbelievable that this is the candidate. But I think at the root of this is our education system. Yes, you're right. It's going to, these ideas, these communist foreign ideas, because communism is foreign to our country, is brought here by the progressives.
Does not work with any of our ideals.
Completely true. So it's this foreign idea that's been implanted. And the only reason that it's taking hold is because we have allowed these Marxists to take over our education system.
So true.
So these young people who are hearing these messages, as soon as there's a little bit of a tough economic time, they are, and this is what communists do, right? It's what they do in Venezuela, and this is what they do in Cuba or wherever else that communism has come. They sell a lot of promises. They act like, give a lot of lip service to the working class, but they end up, instead of delivering a utopia, they end up delivering living hell.
Yeah, let's break this down just a little bit, though, to Charlie's point about where this is stemming from. We have seen at the city hall level, in the mayor in New York City, Mamdani, now in D.C. with Janice Lewis-George, out in Seattle, Katie Wilson. You've seen at the city hall level this far-left, socialist, communist view take hold. It's never happened yet at the congressional level. But Mamdani and Sanders are rallying because they are basically saying this is where the energy is in the Democrat Party right now. Watch.
Now, people often ask me what I think of the state of the Democratic Party. This slate here today is our answer. The Democratic Party must change. They tend to follow that question with another. Who do you want to run in 2028? Then they ask, when does the race for 2028 begin? It starts now. It starts on Tuesday. Because for far too long, our party has seen its job as managing decline instead of delivering material change for working people. And that old way of thinking will lose on Tuesday. And frankly, it will lose in South Carolina and New Hampshire. It will fall short of 270 electoral votes. Because the party of the past will not be what leads us into the future.
You know, Griff, you're the first person to really come out very out and proud, besides Bernie Sanders, was AOC. She came out, she was out and proud of socialists. She made no bones about it. And now we got the squad, all her friends, Ilhan Omar, Taliba Rashid, and now we're getting this new crop of young communists. And Mamdani himself cannot become president because he was born in another country. But if he could have run, I think he would be formidable. This guy can't run for president, but he is, I think, the face of the movement. He's surpassed AOC in talent, I think, in his ability and his charisma. Obviously, his ideas are totally bankrupt, and as I said, not part of anything to do with the American experiment of who we are. But he's effective, and I think that people should not take this lightly, just as they shouldn't have taken AOC lightly. She got us to this point, and I think he can take this ball more forward, Charlie.
Well, whatever happens, it's a civil war, a raging civil war within the Democrat Party right now.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.